Welcome back, guys. Equity Podcast. Coach Barrick here, giving you the tools to be fit for life. We're going to talk about intensity and RPE today. So, RPE is rate of perceived exertion. So, one of the big things that when I'm meeting with somebody new at the gym, we have a new person coming in, or honestly, even people that have been around CrossFit or around equity for a long time, it's the question of intensity. So sometimes when I'm talking to somebody in a no sweat intro, I'll be like, all right, what is CrossFit? Like, if you had to explain it to your mom, how would you explain it? And a lot of times I hear intense. Um, and okay, that's fine. That is part of it. However, what we want to think about is it's not just that, right? You have to earn the intensity side of things. It's mechanics, consistency, then intensity. You have to earn your way to that. Just like learning any skill, right? When you're learning to cut vegetables, you're not just magically Gordon Ramsay going, right? You go slow to start. And you're like, man, this is slower than how I did it before. But then you start getting better at it, and you can go faster and faster, and you've reached a new level. Same thing with anything that we do in the job and learning a sport. Mechanics, consistency, then intensity. And then even if people get that, they still think max intensity. They hear intensity and you just think max. It's like, oh, when I'm going, it's full tilt, balls to the wall, I should be wrecked afterwards. And that is not the case. That is not what we're doing. It's relative intensity. Relative to the person, and then relative for the workout, and relative for long term. So the reason we're doing this thing, tools to be fit for life. We want to be fit for life. As in, right now, I want to be able to do as many things as I want to be able to do or need to be able to do. And then the second part is I want to be able to do those for the life, right? It's anything that is possible that I may need or want to do, and then add time to that as well. It's like the CrossFit definition of fitness versus health, right? Fitness is a snapshot, health is the long term, the graph of that, the long term of the fitness. We want to expand our health span. And by going max effort, max intensity every single day, you're going to burn out. You're going to get injured. You're not going to be able to give in that effort. You're not going to be able to recover. Like, it's not sustainable. Our goal is to build something that is sustainable. We want to be able to do this for a long period of time. We want to be able to come to the gym and not go max intensity. We want to come to the gym 5 to 6 days a week, and we want to keep that consistently over months, years, decades, so that we're still doing all the things we want to do in our 80s and 90s, and as long as we want to. So when we're just thinking about max intensity, one way to think about this is we've talked about this before: practice, train, and compete, right? You should be competing maybe once a week, right? You have that one workout where you're just going. It's like, hey, my goal is just to give that max effort. And then the rest of the days, they're going to be training workouts. Like, yeah, I'm going hard, but I'm not giving my max intensity. I'm focusing on something, right? Hey, pull-ups, but I'm going to force myself to do fives because I can do fives twice, but after that, like, I start to burn out, but I'm really going to fight for it. I'm going to take extra rest in the workout so I can work to get sets of 5 the entire workout. We're going to train that. Hey, I need to train just holding on for big sets of wall balls because they just wreck me. I need to practice my wall ball technique when I'm warming up They're not just throwaway reps. I need to actually practice those and really focus on a good position and making sure I'm using my legs and hips, then my arms. We can also, another way to think about this is RPE. I mentioned it before. Rate of perceived exertion. When we have that compete day, we're going to try and take that RPE to a 10, right? 1 out of 10. But on that next day, I might take a rest day, or that RPE might be much lower in a 5. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a bunch of 7s and 8s. And we want to be able to do this long term and keep going and feel recovered and feel fresh the next day, right? If you're just constantly feeling beat up, if you're constantly not wanting to do other things outside the gym, we're probably doing something wrong. Our RPEs are probably too high. We need to start bringing that intensity down a little bit so we can do all the things that we want to do in our life. The flip side of that is, we have, like, man, I'm doing 3 days a week, and man, that is just crushing me. It's probably because those 3 days we're going a little too hard, right? Rather than trying to bring in 5 to 6 days a week and then pulling that back a little bit, pulling back that intensity a little bit. And then we can bring that up. So like, hey, 3 days a week, I'm going like 10s. Bring it down. Hey, I'm going to go 8s. And then maybe that 1 day a week, you'll be able to bring it up to a 10. We want to find that consistency where we can have those 5-6 days. And maybe it's not 5-6 days in the gym. We can add a walk, a ruck. We can add some yoga into that, right? We have yoga on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We have other options. We can come into the gym and, hey, it's one of those days where I'm just moving. That's okay. We can adjust the workout. Like, man, I'm feeling beat up, but I need to get in. I need to get my head straight. I need to relax. I need to release some stress. Get in, keep it light, and just move and sweat. And then you feel better the next day. You come in and hit it hard. So that's the idea. Think long term. It's not, I need to maximize everything. I need to go hard. Long term. You ask anybody that is where you want to be, and the answer is consistency. It's just consistently coming in and being able to do the work, and not necessarily at the max intensity. Over time, our RPE is also going to change. You're going to be able to handle more and more intensity, but it's also going to change. It's not going to be as intense. We can keep going up. You're going to be able to get faster, right? Your strength is going to increase. Your endurance is going to increase. So you're going to be able to do more work. You're going to be able to handle more volume, but the RPE actually might stay the same because you're getting fitter. So when we're bringing on new people, when new people are starting, generally speaking, we actually, they hear intensity with CrossFit, and that kind of worries them. And they have a tendency to they almost know intensity. And rightly so, right? We need to build up to it. But they need to learn, like, what it feels like. We need to learn, like, what it means to push yourself. Because a lot of people have never pushed themselves really hard. And just having a heart rate over 100 might be something to where that makes them uncomfortable when working out, at least. And we need to learn how to get that higher. And that's going to come with time, right? CAN's consistent intensity. So a lot of times with those newer people on certain activities, I'm actually trying to increase their intensity a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong. There are those people that start fresh and they just want to go hard. A lot of people with sport backgrounds, they're just like, go, and I need to pull them back. Certain people, I need to push them a little bit more, and others I need to pull them back. But most people that are coming off the couch, they need to learn how to be a little bit more intense. And again, that's relative. A little more intense to what they're used to. For the vets, most of the time it's trying to pull them back. You don't need to be working out 7 days a week. You need a rest day. Not just an active rest day, a rest day. We need to learn how to moderate those RPEs. It's not max effort every day. It's not a RPE of 10 every day. We need to pull that back sometimes, especially if you're feeling run down. If you feel like you need more, you feel like you need more sleep, or you're just not hitting the things like you usually would. We need to pull that back a little bit. If you start feeling a little burned out, if we start seeing injuries come up, maybe not like injuries, but like my elbow's been bothering me, and then like it's just like it's not bad. Like once I start warming up, it's fine. We probably need to pull it back a little bit, and then start building up again. Long term, that's the biggest thing. Long term consistency. I don't care if you're fitter in a month. I care if you're healthier in 5 years. That's what we're looking for. We're playing the long game. Do you have any questions about RPE or about intensity, about varying that intensity? Let me know. There can be a lot of nuance in this. So sometimes having a conversation with somebody can really help. If you're having some issues with injury, or you're not kind of getting where you want to get, reach out in Wodify, in our app. If you log in there, if you go under appointments, so click schedule and then appointments. I guess I could bring this up unless you're listening to this, and then that's not ideal. But if you go under Wodify, hopefully it's speedy today. Come on. There we go. All right, so we're going to go to Wodify, and then we're going to go to schedule. And then at the top, you're going to see classes and appointments. So we're going to go to appointments, and then just ignore the staff eval. That's obviously something else. You're going to see goal review. It's for members only. So what you can do is you can click book, and then you're going to select me as your provider. And then you'll see a calendar of when you can select a time. All right, so I click Thursday, and here's the times I have available. So you can set up that goal session, and what we can do is we can talk about, hey, you got some nagging stuff, you're feeling run down, what's the issue? And we can talk about what's the best approach to get you where you want to get, and how can we address the issues that you're having, right? So set up that goal review so we can talk about it, so we can get to where you want to get to. All right. As always, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me, and building that toolbox of tools to be fit for life. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Cheers.